do? My name's LT. I got a new dance for y'all. It's real easy to do. All you gotta do is glide with it. Oh, here we go. Come on.
That's right, people. We are back. Football. Week 7 here. Talking some good matchups, bad matchups as we grind it out to some LT rap right now.
Oh, you know. I just had to give some tribute to the greatest fantasy player of all time. Like Damian Tomlinson, baby.
I love him. All right. We're going to kick it off with some good matchups for quarterbacks here. We talked about him a bit in the waiver wire video. Tyrod Taylor, I mean, let's do it.
All in start this week. The Bucs are giving up the second most yards and the second most points to quarterbacks. All in. Coming out the bye at home. Tyrod Taylor, let's get it.
All right, and Dak Prescott, a good matchup against the Niners. He's giving up the 5th most points to quarterbacks so far this year. Jared Goff, coming off, fresh off that tough matchup against Jacksonville in Jacksonville, but now he gets the Cardinals. You look at
the Cardinals' D.
in yards so far this year.
Ryan Fitzpatrick came in there, almost led him from behind to victory. I mean, looking at Jared Goff, the Cardinals on paper look like it might be a tough matchup for him, but they're 26th in yards allowed, and they've given up the 6th most points to quarterbacks. So at home, I'm going Jared Goff, big start this week.
All right, Mariota over 300 yards through the air last week. Now gets another very nice matchup. A defense who's getting up the 2nd most touchdowns at quarterback, as well as 3rd most fantasy points overall for the quarterback
the Browns
position.
are just vomited up the pass yards out there thus far. A couple of sits. We got Rivers versus the Broncos. The Broncos, I know, had a little tough game. I'm probably looking to get it right, get it tight out there. And Rivers is going to be the victim, baby. So I think sit Rivers this week. Another sit in Winston. I know he had his AC joints a little banged up. And I know that's a reason, but another reason he's going up to Buffalo, and Buffalo's allowing the fewest most points to quarterback and the fewest pass touchdowns allowed thus far. So I think Winston is a hard sit this week.
Getting in some running backs here. Alvin Kamara maybe didn't give you as much as what you'd like, as Ingram absolutely blew it up for it, but I truly believe that Kamara is going to be a high-end RB2 the rest of the way here for you. Going against the Packers, who've given up the 3rd most touchdowns to running backs so far this year. He's going to get the catches, and I think he's going to find the end zone.
Yeah, I think Kamara and Ingram are solid starts this week. Tevin Coleman going against the Patriots are giving up the 5th most yards to running backs. I think Freeman and Coleman are going to both have very good games this week. And we got Adrian Peterson. I know we're talking about Adrian Peterson is a sell high, but if you're not on that, at least you get one more week of probably sexy production. He's going against the Rams. Because the Rams are giving up the most yards and most touchdowns to running backs as far as
I mean, even Fournette, first run of the game, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it is all in. I think you maybe hold AP for one more week and then try to sell him high, because I think he's going to get out there and get it sexy probably again this week. Couple sits. We got some Alex Collins and Buck Allen versus the Vikings. A very stout run defense, giving up the 3rd fewest yards and the 2nd fewest touchdowns. I mean, the Vikings are going out there and just shutting people down, looking the favorite to win the NFC North now that Rodgers is on the sideline.
All right, maybe even a guy like DeMarco Murray here. Going against Cleveland, we say Mariota, everyone on the offense you think is going to get it, but I don't know.
It was tough against the run.
It was an even 50-50 split in the backfield, him and Henry. Henry did have that long one that had him more yards for the game, but Cleveland itself is giving up the 2nd fewest points to running backs. Seventh fewest points
Still
to running
very
backs.
stout for the Browns. You think the Browns, you think cakewalk. I don't know, it's not really been that way for running backs thus far this season. We got Doug Martin, who has come back and looks spry, but the Bills have given up the 5th fewest points to running backs thus far, so I don't know. We've got some other options. Might look and be sits some old Doug Martin this week.
All right, receivers, a guy who's been solid for you, Pierre Garçon, getting a tasty matchup.
Yeah, it's a good baby.
Against the Cowboys here, they're giving up the 3rd most touchdowns so far to receivers on the year.
Gotta go all in.
He's already getting the volume, but if he can find that end zone there, we could be talking 20-point PPR. Garcon this week here.
Hoyer's on the slack, failed to find the end zone in 3 of the 5 games that he started and completed. Bring in the old dirty Hawkeye, baby.
Hawkeyes.
Bring in the Hawkeye. Maybe clanging and banging. Maybe get Garcon's ass into the end zone.
Maybe nothing.
Fucking Hawkeyes.
All right. This is an excellent matchup for Rams receivers.
I mean, you like to look at Sammy Watkins or Cooper Kupp, but you just look at their involvement in the offense and you're like, my goodness,
Watkins
look at Robert
can drop
Woods
zeros like nothing. Kupp only had 3 targets last game. Robert Woods.
Yeah, Watkins caught 1 of 4 targets last week. My God.
Even against the very, very solid Jags secondary, Robert Woods was targeted 7 times. I think he converted on 5 of those for 70 yards.
Yeah, solid day versus that very stout Jags pasty. And I mean, he's going out there this week versus giving up the 6th most points to wide receivers. I mean, let's get it done. Robert Woods, baby. Now grease some squeaky wheel, maybe some long shot on the old start list.
Not a great matchup for Steelers receivers, but Martavius, there's whispers of talk. Maybe he's upset. Maybe he wants to break out for a big game.
Come on, baby. All he's got to do is hit 1 to get you sexy for the week. All he needs is that 1, baby. I think I know it's a tough start against that Bengals secondary, but I just am believing this is it.
Could be a shootout here.
Let's do it.
Could be a shootout. Get Martavius involved.
Put Martavius in the flex. Let's go.
All right. Who's sitting?
Keenan Allen, I think it's a tough sit, especially in PPR, but the Broncos are giving up the 3rd fewest yards to wide receivers. I know it's going to be hard to put a guy like that on your bench, especially with the bye weeks and swing here, but I mean, another guy I think you definitely had, no questions asked, you had to get T.Y.'s ass on your bench.
I mean, he has absolutely blown it up in every home game that he has played, but going against this Jacksonville secondary, I don't see how he's going to get anything. I mean, the guy had 1 catch last game against about as good a matchup as you could ask for with the Tennessee secondary.
Titans secondary's been vomiting up points, touchdowns, and yards of wide receivers coming in. T.Y. just was like invisible.
I mean, if Jalen Ramsey or even Boye are on him, I just don't see him having a good day out there, even at home.
Yeah, I think you got a couple of guys here, in Jeffrey and Aguilar. I know Aguilar's been surprisingly been a top 20 PPR wide receiver, been very solid wide receiver 2 for you thus far, outscoring Jeffrey on the reg. I mean, but they're going to have very tough matchups this week, and the defense only giving up the 3rd fewest points and the 3rd fewest touchdowns out there. I don't know. It might be a hard sit for the Eagles wide receivers this week.
All right, another possible hard sit here. Talking even if Diggs is out, Adam Thielen, who I absolutely love, he does have a tough matchup here. Going against Baltimore, we're giving up the 2nd fewest receiving yards so far this year.
2nd fewest receiving yards, 5th fewest touchdowns to wide receivers. I don't Thielen's probably pretty safe play either way, like a flex.
I feel like
probably.
He'll still get his 10 to 12, but I feel like his ceiling's going to be
PPR guy. He's a decent PPR guy. I'm thinking probably will be a safe flex play, but don't expect the moon this week against that Baltimore secondary. And we got the Seahawks wide receivers, because the Giants are giving up the least touchdowns to wide receivers thus far this season.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. How are you doing these things, Giants? Yeah, no, this is crazy. You want to say some crazy shit? The Niners are actually fucking good at something. Are you ready at this, people? Jason Witten playing against the Niners, sit the shit out of him. The Niners are tough as nails against the tight ends. The Niners defense does do something. They've given up the 2nd fewest yards and the least amount of fantasy points to tight ends thus far. Jason Witten's hard sit.
Who else we sitting tight ends here?
Sitting some Cameron Brate. The Bills have given up the fewest passing touchdowns thus far this season, and that's where Cameron Brate lives and dies.
All right, for starts at tight end, let's go Delaney Walker here. We're in his matchup here against the Browns, giving up the 3rd most fantasy points for tight ends across the board.
And Delaney Walker, Rudolph, we said bench, Thielen, but Rudolph is all in. Ravens are giving up the 2nd most touchdowns 2 tight ends. I know 3 of those were to Mercedes Lewis, but Mercedes Lewis and getting that ass 3 times. You got to think old boy Rudolph and getting that ass once.
I mean, they're averaging 1 touchdown a game to tight ends. I know it is skewed a little with the 3, but they've played so many games here.
I mean, my goodness, Kyle Rudolph, baby, let's go. Another start at tight end, Henry, who has been kind of coming to life as of late. And he's playing against the Broncos. I know the Broncos is stout, but they are leaky against tight ends, giving up the 3rd most points to tight ends thus far.
All right, there it is.
There she is, boys.
If you haven't...
Girls, if there's a couple girls out there, who
let's do
fucking
it.
knows?
You don't want to choose your gender.
Boys and girls, fuck everybody, enjoy the show, baby.
If you haven't already, please subscribe below. We do love it. We do appreciate it. Also, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think with all your sit-start questions.
All the questions will be answered in orderly fashion below. Let's go. Week 7. Get up in that ass. We need the hard playoff push, baby. If you started the season slow, you're on the ropes. Maybe you're 2-4. There's still hope, baby. Get on that horse and let's get it sexy.
Get that electric glide.
Get
LT
that electric glide
style,
going.
baby.
That's how you do it.
Let's
That's how you do it. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. You know, I want to hear that shit one more time. We'll bring that shit back. Where is it? I'm going to find it. There we go, baby.
If you don't want to listen, you can leave. But if you want to hear it, stick
Fuck.
around with
Let's
us.
fucking get it.
Watch the video with it.
My name's LT.
My name's LT.
Dance for y'all. It's real easy to do.
Oh.
All you gotta do is glide with it.
Got that shit, baby.
Oh, here we go. Come on. To play the game every Sunday, yo, it's all the same. I do.
How is this not on that Casey Tatum, whatever the fucking name? Casey fucking, what's that, Casey Kasem, some shit? What's that motherfucker?
Better than Super Bowl Shuffle.
Whoa. Whoa. Too far.
I saw Super Bowl Shuffle vinyl at a thrift shop.
I got fucking the Super Bowl Shuffle on vinyl over there.
$25.
Fuck, man, I got the little fucking fucking singles. It's like the little single tape. I got the little 45 record with the Super Bowl Shuffle, baby. We don't need the full. We just need to get down.
Yo, you can't see me because I move my hips.
And I got some fucking Super Bowl Shuffle on vinyl. I got some fucking Beastie Boys on vinyl.
They call me sweetness and I love to dance. Running the balls like nigga love me.
Yeah, see, that's better than this. I do love it.
This is good.
This is good, though.
I do know the
This
whole
is up there with that Eddie Murphy song, My Girl Likes the Fucking Party, whatever the dick that was. Let's listen to that.
Did you know the Bengals did a Super Bowl Shuffle? The last time when they were in the playoffs?
They did?
It was with Chad Johnson back that year and Carson Palmer like ripped his knee out.
Dude.
Luckily they never released it to the
They never
public.
released it?
No.
Alright, we're going out. We're going out. Eddie Murphy, party all the fucking time.
What is happening?
Sorry, people. I don't know. I don't fucking know. We're gonna party all the time, though, for you. Get sexy. Start, baby. Start and sit 'em out there, grind. I just fucking party all the time. Fucking
You got
let's go.
Tony texting.
Yeah, guys.
Fuck off. Gotta party all the time.
Hey, guys. It's party all the time.
Rick Gang.
Wild. Too wild. We gotta cut it loose.
Really kind of look.
We've lost our minds, people.
There she goes. Oh! Alright.
I don't know why you're still watching. We will see you later. We're getting out of here.